Well, we knew Giro d'Italia Stage 18 2025 would be one for the escape. We weren't quite sure, but it ended up that way. And I want to speak about three different riders today. Before we get into that, I want to let you know this Giro d'Italia 2025 coverage is presented by Bicycle, the best place online to buy and sell pre-owned bikes. Do you have too many bikes in your garage or shed? No problem. Head on over to bicycle.com/FloBikes to list your bikes in minutes and sell to cyclists worldwide. Also get your 30% off seller discount code. All right, those three riders. Well, one stage winner, German Nico Denz, riding for Team Bora Hansgrohe, in the same mold as Carlos Verona the other day of Lidl Trek. When their leader abandons the race, the team has to shift focus, and that's what happened, and it was a success for Nico Denz. Today, he went out. The team is without Primoz Roglic, and he went out and gave them a victory. He was trying already the other day. They have Giulio Pellizzari racing up in the GC, riding in the white jersey, holding it for Isaac Del Toro, our pink jersey leader, and one of the other three riders I want to speak about. So Nico Denz had his chance today. Now we saw a massive escape go, 144 kilometers, one of the hottest days, second only to one of the first days we had in Albania. The stage started in Morbegno, 144 kilometers through the Valtellina Valley, riding through Brianza, and getting here where I'm standing here in this beautiful garden in Cesano Maderno. This morning in Valtellina, well, of course, that region with this terraced hillsides, growing the vineyards, and there you can get great varieties like the Inferno. Well, we were in our own sort of hell today, running through these vineyards on the steep cliff sides there, having a heck of a time, getting our minds off the racing for a little bit, refreshing, and think about the stages to come up, because we got 19 and 20 mountain days and how Isaac Del Toro is going to hold himself. And I asked him that. We're going to get to him here in a second. It was a beautiful run. Now let's get into the stage. This massive group formed around about 40 riders, and we had several sprint teams involved in the group, and at one point it was a little mini peloton. Alpecin was there with 3 or 4 riders with Caden Groves. Lidl Trek was there with Mads Pedersen. Also, Vacek, his lead-out man, they were there. Also, Visma Lisa Bike with Wout van Aert and Dylan van Barle. So we had some powerful men in this escape. We also had American Larry Warbass in the move. And we also had our eventual stage winner, Nico Denz. He already counts 2 stage wins from back in 2023. And today was going to make us third. There were 3 riders in there with stage victories already in the bag, including Dan Houle, and another rider doesn't come to mind right away. But the action, well, it was good. And they gained somewhere around 11, 15 minutes at one point. It was massive. The hardest part of the day, according to Larry Warbass, when I spoke with him at the finish, and he's the third of the 3 I want to talk about, was really getting the move form. And Larry got onto it. He didn't think he was going to get there, and he knew that if Tudor wasn't represented, they'd get an earful at the dinner table. He knew he had to get in it, and he wants his shot. He got a win back in the Tour de Suisse a few years ago when he was riding for Aqua Blue, and he wants to win a Grand Tour stage. Sorry, Larry, it wasn't your chance today. And he still had a smile on his face when I spoke with him there at the finish, and he explained how he made the move. He saw Wout van Aert, and he knew Wout would want to get in it, and he was right there with him, and the 2 got across. There, the first hill of the 3 of the day, that was probably the hardest. After that, he thought it was relatively easy. All the riders coming across the line with salt stains on their jersey. They were sweating out there. That group of around 40 riders formed, and then we had a group, when we were coming in here to the closing circus, 2 laps of around 12.5 kilometers, we saw a group of 10 riders go free, and I think it was Dylan van Barle that forced it. Nico Denz went. Larry Warbass got across. Josh Edmondson, I think it was the last to get over of the 10. Ed Plancart was in there, one of the Alpecin riders for Caden Groves. I thought at one point he was going to draw it back to help Caden to get up, to make it come back together for an eventual sprint for the sprinters, but it wasn't to be. Those riders were away, and coming up to 2 laps of this technical circuit here in Cesano Maderno, well, with all the lefts and rights, it suited the riders up front. That was probably what was in the mind of Nico Denz when he attacked with 17 kilometers to go. Bam! He was never seen again. Gone away to victory, and a big one for Bora Hansgrohe as they were wiping up after Primoz Roglic abandoned with 4 crashes or so. We were losing count, the 2023 Giro d'Italia victor. So it was over to the riders of the team to make up and to do something. Verona, Carlos did it the other day for Lidl Trek, and today it was the turn for Nico Denz. Congratulations, Nico. You held off the other riders, and they were chomping back behind to try to pull you back, but could not do it. With all the lefts and rights in this town here, just north of Milano, packed with cycling fans, a really modern town, really busy town, because this is the financial hub of Italy, Milan, and so we're getting here into the suburbs, and it's really busy around here. The De Rosa factories nearby. So many of the bicycle companies come from this area. Historical bike races are here as well, and today Nico Denz celebrated. He has heritage here in Italy, Italian grandparent, grandmother, grandfather, I forget which one, and Nico's going to be happy tonight, and I'm sure Primoz Roglic is going to send the team a little message and say, hey, congratulations. I spoke with Jan Tratnik the other day, and he said, when these guys, some of the super helpers, get a shot to ride for victory, it means so much that they're able to hit out, to try for it, and to pull it off. And that's what Nico did today. And we know Jan Tratnik a few years ago when he was riding for Visma Lisa bike, Jumbo Visma, I think, what was it, the Omloop Newsblad he won. He got his shot. Now I want to talk about Larry Warbasse. Larry trying all the time, and today he made the escape but couldn't pull it off. But what a great guy, always there with a smile. He's got the U.S. stripes on his arm sleeves, a former U.S. champion. He's got a Tour de Suisse victory, and he's always there riding for his team, Decathlon and now Team Tudor. The third of 3 riders I want to talk about is Isaac Del Toro in the pink jersey, race leader, as we head into these final 2 testing days, the 2 mountains up in the far northwest of Italy, before we have that final sprinter stage in Rome. They're going to be testing days, but what I've seen so far from Isaac Del Toro, at least in the post-race mix zone, is that he's confident. But we don't know what happened the other day in stage 16, and I put that to him. He said he didn't know if it was the weather, if it was bad legs, or if it was feeding. I think it might have been feeding, because we saw yesterday in stage 17, he bounced back, and I heard from a lot of you in the comments when I said I don't think he's going to win this Giro. Let me know down in the comments, who do you think will win the Giro? Right now, I'd like to see Isaac Del Toro win it, if not Derek G, one of those 2. But the way I see Richard Carapaz riding, he's just the strongest of those first 4 riders. Tune in to find out what's going to happen. Stage 19, stage 20, the big mountain days to come. But tonight, stage 18, we're celebrating a German. We're celebrating a guy who's already won 3 victories in the Giro d'Italia. Well, it's Bora Hansgrohe picking up the pieces after Primoz Roglic abandoned, Nico Denz.